Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Finger Guns Podcast with Tony, Dave, and James. I am your brain fucking dead tired co-host, Jimmy, and I am here with
Big T, Tony B.
Yes, and
Dazzling Dave.
Always dazzling. Spirit fingers, sparkle fingers, twinkle toes,
Jazz hands.
jazz hands. How we all doing tonight, boys?
Jimmy, I am rolling.
Excellent.
I am so happy that you
Excellent.
are. I'm so happy about that.
Excellent.
I'm not. I'm a little tired, but I'm proud of you for being rolling.
Yes.
I am rolling. It is my birthday week, and
Hell yeah.
I am fucking rolling.
You celebrating every day?
I am celebrating every day. My birthday celebrations started yesterday, and I'm gonna ride that all week. Because my birthday is not just a day; it's an all-week thing. Melissa gets an entire month dedicated to her. I can get a fucking week.
A lot of pegging this
mean,
weekend.
Yeah. Whatever floats your boat, man. You
Yeah,
enjoy
man.
your birth week.
I will.
I have to share mine with fucking Christmas and New Year's, so go fuck yourself.
Well,
And Eloise is with you.
And now I
There you
also
go.
have to share it with Eloise.
Sorry,
Well,
man.
I can thank God every day that my parents just boned on Valentine's Day.
We don't need to talk about
it
that,
is-
man.
it is
That's
great.
fucking nasty.
It is great.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
gross.
Buddy, anyone born in November
Yeah,
know
it's
that
a
their
Valentine's Day bone.
fucking boned on Valentine's
Yeah,
Day.
yeah. Your dad put on boner jams and some Barry White.
Boner Jams 1999. Nope, 1990. There we
Yeah,
go. I was
there
going to say
you go.
89, but I had to do the...
No,
Yeah.
1990.
Okay, why don't we just stop talking about
Dave,
that?
do you
I don't
remember
want
where
to.
you were on February 14th, 1990? You were old enough to remember.
I do.
He was
not
probably
recall.
They drop you off at the grandparents.
I'm gonna tell you offline what happened because I know what happened.
Excellent.
Unfortunately.
Excellent. Excellent.
Unfortunately.
Anyway, you want to get into some
But
movies?
yes, I would like to get into some movies with this magical bonus episode
Hell
that
yeah.
we weren't planning initially, but after we rescheduled our last one to not coincide with the election, we decided that we'd add an extra one to your ear hole.
Considering the results, we probably should have just put it out because it would have given people a reprieve
Yeah,
from the nonsense. Right?
Definitely.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe, but
Hindsight 2020.
hindsight is 2020, and we've been gone too long, our usual 2 weeks. So we
And now
wanted
we're
to hit you with some bonus.
So
So
this is bonus jams 2024.
let's
Let's do it. All right, so none of the usual segments. We just got some movies to talk about.
we just got a couple of rando movies today.
It's almost an
there is a one segment.
Yeah, it is almost an all screener time episode. Almost.
It almost is all screener time. You're right.
Which
There's one. Well, there's one that's not
Yeah,
a screener.
yeah. So this is fine.
Yeah, the bonus screener time episode.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Did I tell you the good news?
you
speaking of,
saved
I'm putting
10% or more on your car insurance by switching to Geico.
Yes. No, I was going to say that super friend of the podcast, Josh Fumo, is writing us a jingle.
Nice.
I'm sharing it live here, so now I have to hold him to it. So now he has to do it, but
nice.
he is taken that to task, and he's writing us a screener time jingle because he's the best.
I love you, Josh. Never forget it.
Thank you.
Mr. Tony, can you tell me about, what's it called? Zombie Town?
R.L. Stein's Zombie Town.
My
Did he
mistake.
direct
My
this
mistake.
movie?
He did not. It was adapted from
his book. Yeah.
It came out on Hollywood Suite on October 22nd.
Oh, good for R.L. Stein.
Yeah. So, quick overview of Zombie Town.
I keep want to call it Zombie Land.
Yeah, Zombie Land,
Yeah.
like it is what it is. It's basically a Canadian version of Goosebumps, I would say.
Sure.
A director,
which is interesting because Goosebumps was pretty Canadian to start. I think the show was Canadian to start with.
Yeah. But then they remade it into a movie with Jack Black, and Jack Black was like the splitting image of R.L. Stein.
Well, he was playing R.L. Stein.
Well, that too, right? So take Jack Black out of the movie, insert Dan Aykroyd, who is literally not R.L. Stein, but a lookalike of R.L. Stein, and you get Zombie Town. Anyway, so hit director directs a movie. It's a blast. It completely it was a hit, bona fide hit, and it was a hit for the town that they changed. It was such a hit for the town that it was filmed in that they changed the name of the town to this guy's name.
Not Zombie Town?
Not Zombie Town. I'm getting there, guys. Fuck. Hey, we're finger gunning. And then he disappears. Never heard from again. And then all of a sudden he resurfaces again, with a new movie. Everyone's all excited. There's a big premiere in the town. Everyone's invited and stuff. And then enter your lead characters. I don't remember what their names were because this is how memorable the movie was.
Sure, I can see that.
Year two, you got a kid who's trying to show off to a girl. Gives her a preview of the movie. Only something happens with the movie. Shenanigans ensue. Basically, the movie curses whoever sees it and turns him into
the Ring.
Yeah, and turns him into a zombie.
Oh, fun.
And now they have to find the director to find out why this is happening and to help save the town.
Cool.
Yeah.
The kid's name was Mike. How do you forget Mike?
Forgettable name.
And her name is Amy.
Even more forgettable.
There you go.
All right.
I was into this for about 20 minutes. And then once they started getting into the whole zombie thing,
I'm out.
All
right.
Only because it's a kid's movie, right?
Sure.
So they're not flesh-eating zombies.
Sure.
They basically look at you and suck the soul out of you.
Suck
the life out of you.
Of course.
And then you turn into a zombie. They dementorate. Yeah.
Okay.
Cameos include a 2-second cameo from Chevy Chase.
Nice. I'm glad they dug him out of the grave.
Yeah, right. And another guy that pops up is, I can't remember his name, but he is Kittredge from the Mission Impossible franchise.
Oh, yes.
Henry Czerny.
Yeah, he shows up.
Neat.
He is, if I'm not mistaken, he is he's the theater owner.
Oh.
But
so he had a few minutes between the Mission Impossibles.
But he has an extended cameo, which was good. And then Dan Aykroyd is your titular person. Skip it.
All right.
It's not great.
Is it good for kids? Rewatch it right now in front of me through the eyes of a 7-year-old boy.
It's kind of terrifying. I'm not going to lie. I wouldn't put it in front of Quinny. But
I forgot that Bruce McCulloch and Scott Thompson were in it.
Scott Thompson's in it?
Scott Thompson doesn't really make it out. He's just kind of there, just doing Scott Thompson things.
Well, what else do you pay Scott Thompson for?
To be Scott Thompson.
Yeah. I was about to say, if Scott Thompson shows up, what do you expect him to do? Shakespeare? No, you expect Scott Thompson to be Scott Thompson.
Of course.
What about Bruce McCulloch?
He's doing Bruce McCulloch things.
So good. So perfect.
Wow.
Excellent.
The two guys from Kids in the Hall
nailing it. They're crushing it.
To be perfectly honest with you, I think I'm mixing the people up in my head right now. So I couldn't really tell. Well, I know one's a chef. One of them is a sheriff.
Is forgettable.
It's forgettable.
Apparently it's forgettable.
That's basically what I'm trying to tell you. It's forgettable.
I'm assuming Bruce McCulloch was the sheriff because he's credited here as Jenkins.
Yeah, Jenkins feels like a real sheriffy name.
That sounds like a sheriffy name. And Scott's Andy. So
it's just a lower budget Goosebumps movie.
Yeah,
that's what it felt like. It felt very cheap. Very very Canadian. Sure. I don't want to shit on Canadian cinema.
Yeah, I get you.
But it was definitely, when you put the two of them next to each other, you're better off watching Goosebumps.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
Cool.
That's Zombie Town.
Nice.
Cool.
What's next, Dave?
We're going to do Andrea Arnold's Bird, which is in limited release now from Mubi.
Hell
so
yeah.
that'll probably be on the movie screening platform.
Yeah.
Screening platform? No,
Streaming service.
Streaming service, probably before Christmas.
It'll be on movie before Christmas.
Before Christmas, it's limited release right now. Tony and I got to see it at TIFF.
You sure did,
and we loved it.
Yeah,
and then I watched it again, and I still love it. But James, tell me your experience with watching Bird.
What James felt about it.
I mean, so first of all, like I obviously I knew kind of what your two thoughts were because we recorded about it at TIFF.
Yes. Before you tell us, I'm sorry. Tell us what Bird. Remind the folks what Bird's about.
Yes. So Bird, we are following a young, I'm going to blank on her name. Give me a second while I bring this up.
I have it up.
Perfect.
I can just tell you.
We are following around a young adolescent girl.
Her name in the film is Bailey, and her name in real life is Nakia Adams.
Nakia Adams, yes. Which, first of all, Nakia Adams is incredible in this. Back to this.
Knockout performance.
Bailey, we're following Bailey as our main sort of character through line through this entire movie. She comes from, let's call it a broken world, because it's pretty fucking bad all around her. She grew up poor, her mom poor, dad poor, everybody kind of poor and, addicted to various kinds of substances, etc. And she's it's a coming of age film. Like she's looking to define herself in this world, and on this journey she meets a guy named Bird, and he's a little eccentric. He's trying to figure out his path in the world. He doesn't know his origins and like who his parents were. He was lost as a child and trying to basically trace back his childhood. So they kind of team up, and they're dealing with the chaos of Bailey's life as well as the unknown puzzle piece of Bird's life. And they become very close friends, and they kind of learn about the world together. And people grow and change and occasionally become birds. Scene. Thank you. Was that good?
That was pretty good.
All right.
That was pretty good.
I was trying to nail it all.
Yeah,
I think I got it.
I think you nailed it.
The guy that plays Bird.
Yeah.
Franz
Rogowski.
Absolutely incredible.
Oh yeah.
I recognized him from Passages.
Yeah.
Where he plays another very unhinged character.
A very enigmatic performance. Like he kept drawing my eyes to him.
It's very subtle. It's very quiet.
Yeah.
He's not overstaying. He's just there. He's a presence.
Yeah.
Right. And his presence is felt in every scene that he's in.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Right up to sort of the very end. Even like there's a moment at the end where she's heading back to her mom's after they do like the whole day at the beach. And she doesn't want to say goodbye because she doesn't want to lose the one close friend she has, essentially.
And she doesn't like saying goodbye.
On top of that. Yeah. But like that moment where like one of her younger siblings runs over and hugs him goodbye is just like, oh man, like it just like hit me hard.
It hits
hard. Anyway, so like I knew about this movie going into it sort of from your guys' talk as well. And like it definitely is like it's got a look and feel to it, like shot on like 16 millimeter essentially.
Yeah,
it's very natural.
Natural, very like you're watching these characters. You're not watching actors. These guys are these characters. Like you're watching a life unfold in front of you.
Yeah. It feels very gritty. It feels like when you're describing that she had a broken life, like it feels that gritty.
Yeah, it really does. Like it comes through. All of the people in her life are going through various kinds of nonsense from her dad, played by Barry Keoghan, he's great in pretty much everything he does.
You didn't comment on his tattoos yet.
I love his tattoos.
Do you like that?
You like that centipede?
That centipede's great. Don't even get me started on that centipede. I was staring at it the whole time. I'm like, in my head though, I was like, man, he had to get there to set every single day, and they had to draw this fucking centipede on him every day and make sure it was exactly aligned. Even if it wasn't drawn, like if it was one of those like semi-permanent tattoos, they had to reapply that thing every day in the exact spot. I'm like, this just seems fucking annoying, is what it seems like.
It must have been a semi-permanent thing.
Yeah.
Or like a decal.
No, it's permanent. He's just got a fucking centipede tattoo on him.
Even like the touch-ups during the takes and stuff, like that must have been fucking brutal. Annoying. Yeah,
especially when he's singing to a fucking toad.
Yeah.
That's
where they spent most of the budget, was on that song.
Yeah, that song and also that toad, probably. for the animal handler that had to accompany the one toad that they had through the movie. Yeah, but everything in her life, like everybody in her life is got things that are just going terribly wrong. And it's captured all very well and very natural to what you were saying. You're just kind of there watching all of this unfold, and there's no part of you that doesn't buy exactly what's happening. None of the performances are phoned in. They're all firing on all cylinders. And, you know, like, as I mentioned, Nakia's incredible through the entire thing, like a revelation, if you will.
I totally agree.
Yeah.
I watching it again and knowing the beats, I still was pretty riveted.
Yeah,
knowing exactly where it was going, because when we saw it, I had no idea where the fuck it was going to go.
Yeah,
and well, watching it again and knowing the beats, I still really, really enjoyed it. It's still one of my favorites of the year.
Yeah. I think it's a bit long at a point. There is a point where I'm just kind of like, oh, all right, like,
yeah, it could have been tightened up. Most movies we see could and should be tightened up.
Yeah,
but there's just a natural feel, a natural rhythm to it, and I just
agreed.
I like all like the small things, like the small little nuances. Like she gets her period in the one scene and she has to go talk to her future stepmother who she fucking hates.
Yeah.
And she doesn't really know her, but she just instinctively hates her.
Just like,
and she just like, it's just very almost wordless where she kind of just shows, and then they just like have like a small conversation. It's just like it's such a little moment, but it's such like it's captured so well and so innocently, because Bailey is such an innocent character who is definitely sees some shit in this movie and has most likely seen some shit and when we don't see her, and just I really, really enjoyed it. I like the performances a lot. And how can you not like a movie that doesn't have that has Cotton Eye Joe in it? Yeah, no, that's always great. It was an excellent ending. As I say that, the recent remake of Speak No Evil has Cotton Eye Joe in it, and it sucks. But that's a good scene. You can't win them all. That's a good scene. I was going to say also, the one thing that did lose me until maybe 3/4 into the movie, I didn't understand that Hunter was her brother. Yeah. That was something that confused me the first time we saw it. And then this time, knowing that it's her brother, I was like, okay. But yeah, they do at a point. So what do you call it? It's a stepbrother, isn't it? Yeah, it's her stepbrother. But even that, brother or whatever, even that they're related is very like, maybe I missed something, but there isn't. Like, you just think she's a friend. Find out. But yeah, you just think he's like her buddy. Yeah. No, but they sleep in the same room. That's where you figure it out. Yeah. Okay. But they don't show that until later. Yeah. Much later. Earlier in the movie, like his first introduction to her. They're cutting his hair. He's getting his hair cut from his girlfriend type thing. And then he's going to go out and do something horrific with his gang and gang of buddies type thing. It just seemed like all three of them were friends. Yeah. They just had like a friendly banter. Like there's no specific, like, that's my brother. Yeah. And then not even a throwaway line, but then later you realize it's her brother. Yeah, exactly. So that's where I was like, the first time I saw it, I was like, how the fuck? This is her brother? So, but knowing this time, I'm like, okay. Now I understand. Now you see it, and more, it makes a little more sense of why she would be spending so much time with this, why she would want to be part of their gang. Thing. Yeah. Absolutely. I'm like, why she would know these characters. I'm being picky on certain things just to like give it a little bit of these are sort of the things that didn't work for me with length, and that was, I think, again, I would agree with you. The first time as well, I was a little thrown off, not realizing that, and I was like, am I stupid? Yeah, but because she watching it again this time, one of his buddies, I think his name's Ghost or something. Sure. And she definitely has like a thing for him, and they have like like a thing for each other type thing. And I noticed it more this time. Yeah. But knowing it's her brother, that's how you know that they're connected. Yeah. Right. Yeah, it makes sense. But yeah, I would agree with you. It's a little, now we told you, so when you see it, you'll understand that it's her brother. Exactly. Yeah. Go into this knowing that it's Hunter her brother. Is her brother. It's not going to help you. It won't confuse you too much, but at least it'll give you a little help. Yeah. Yeah. But anyway, I thought it was great. Otherwise, I have no complaints. I'm not even that sorry that I missed it at TIFF, because I still got to watch it now, and I'm very happy that I did. It was worth the watch. Yes, for sure. And I know you didn't get to rewatch it, Tony, but I know you will. You'll enjoy watching it again when you have a chance. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. It was one of those. Once it hits booby.
It was one of those movies that like came at me and I wasn't really expecting it. Like I did not have this on my radar at all.
Yeah.
I only changed. Yeah. I changed it literally like a couple days before so I could see it with Dave. And Dave was like all about it. And he was like, yo, it's going to be good. It's going to be good. Yeah. And it's definitely a big surprise for me. Yeah. And I loved it.
Yeah. At least you enjoyed it more than Zone of Interest.
Yeah, I definitely enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Well, I'm fairly certain Bird ended up in my like top 5 or at least my top 10 of TIFF.
I think
that should say should say something.
Yeah,
for sure.
I'm glad you enjoyed it.
I still haven't seen Zone of Interest.
I know. I
can't bring myself to do it. That's the problem.
The window's already gone. You didn't.
The window has.
Yeah, the window is closed. So like, if you go without ever seeing it, I don't think.
I think I'll be okay.
Yeah, I think you'll be okay.
The discourse on Zone of Interest has died down. I think I'm fine now.
Unless we're about to restart.
Oh God, no.
Yeah, who knows? Jonathan Glazer there might be a resurgence in Jonathan Glazer. You know that guy at TIFF's probably like chomping at the bit.
Yes, your buddy from TIFF who loves Jonathan Glazer.
Not my buddy. He's your buddy.
He's not my buddy.
I ain't your buddy, pal.
He was like adjacent buddy.
Yeah. Swear to God, I'll never forget it. My favorite director is Jonathan Glazer. I'm like, okay, never talking to you again.
Associative buddy.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's Bird.
That's Bird.
All right.
We're gonna get spooky for a sec, Tony and me.
Yeah, you guys can get spooky.
Let's get spooky.
Evil lurking deep inside, its darkness knows no limit. So listen closely if you dare. This is the Shudder Minute.
Tony. Sorry, it's a Shudder Minute, so I'm putting you on the spot for this one.
Me on the spot?
At the same time, I get to join you on this, and I kind of buried the lead on that or spoiled it slightly.
For the Shudder Minute this week, we have a film called Black Cab with Nick Frost.
Yeah.
And Big Tony B loves a simple premise, and this sure as shit has the simplest of premise. A night out goes from bad to worse when an estranged couple, Anne and Patrick, are abducted. No, I fucked that up. Abducted by their cab driver, resulting in a very terrifying ordeal.
Yes, Nick Frost is a London black cab driver.
Oh, okay. That's
hence the black cab.
Oh, yeah.
The titular black cab.
The titular black cab.
Putting on his best Nick Frost performance.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's just Nick Frost being Nick Frost.
Yeah, just Nick Frost. It's he gets
a little maniacal.
A little bit evil Nick Frost.
Yeah.
Slightly evil Nick Frost.
Slightly dark.
Like, don't Nick Frost? If you remember.
Yeah.
He's like the baby that's
okay. We won't go that far.
Okay.
Anyways, Black Cab.
Yep.
It was a film.
Sure was.
I caught that.
It took me multiple watches to finish it.
I got through it in one.
Yeah, I did not.
It
once you find out the motives, it kind of falls apart.
Yeah.
Does it take place entirely in the cab?
Not so much entirely.
90% of it takes place in the cab.
They there's the opening bit that sets it in motion. Then they get into the cab. They make a few stops. Then they get to the stop where they're going, and then it's like 15 minutes to the end.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Mostly in a cab.
Mostly in the cab.
And I will say, like the bits in the cab before. There's problems with this movie. A lot, but. The bits in the cab when you're not dealing with, because there's two things going on. There's this cab abduction, but there's also a ghost story being told at the same time.
Yeah.
When we're not dealing with the indeed, when we're not dealing with the ghost story, it's actually pretty fucking terrifying.
It's definitely terrifying because you don't know why he's definitely doesn't let on that he knows something and that he's planning something.
Yeah.
Right.
He just feels like he's abducted these two people too.
Because he's just toying with them. And like the one, like I'll spoil it. You
don't need to spoil it.
No. Let me. I'll spoil the one part. There's two characters in the cab. Yeah. One is knocked out for a majority.
Yeah. He gets tased with a cattle prod.
Yeah.
So he's TKO.
So because the reason why I said that is because it's this two-hander between Frost and the actress, right? and the woman, it doesn't know what's going on, and she's like, it's a shitty relationship. She has a very bad relationship with her boyfriend, and it was her boyfriend, right, James?
Correct. Yeah.
So he got what he fucking deserved.
Yeah.
Essentially. But she's already coming into, she has demons in the closet. She has this shitty relationship with her boyfriend. They get into a fight, and then they're fucking.
He's a real scumbag.
He's a real scum, and then they get abducted. So
Yeah.
she's already like all over the fucking place. And then you got Frost, who's just toying with her, and she's just like, I didn't do anything. Just let me out. And he's just like, he is so menacing.
So this is just like the cherry on top of her shit sundae.
Yeah, basically.
She's like, of course, this is what happens today.
Yeah. Pretty much. Yeah.
Of course,
at least it's not raining, and then she gets stabbed. Yeah.
So you really feel for the character and stuff, but like James says, there's so many problems with it. Like if it was just a simple two-hander between them in the cab, cool.
The cab abduction story is legitimately worth watching.
It's worth watching.
It's all the shit that they start putting in with this ghost story is fucking junk. You could have tossed it.
And then when you keep you get further into his motives and how and how everything connects, it's weak.
He's
It's
a
very
jackal,
thin.
right?
What's that?
He's a jackal.
Yeah, it's a jackal. It's a jackal. Jackal.
Yeah. It kind of falls apart. It really, you're just kind of like, once everything gets revealed to you, you're just on a race to the end at that point, and you just don't give a fuck anymore. It literally just takes all the wind out of its sails, and you're just kind of like, let's just end this sort of thing.
Yeah.
It was also like, this was the first time, I don't know if you noticed it as well, but I kind of did. When they were going through the credits at the beginning, the writing credits were really fucking weird.
Yeah.
Because it was like the two main writers, and it was like with additional contributions by Nick Frost and someone else. I was like, would you punch up the script and then put your name on it? Like,
so you know what that is, right?
Yeah.
That is Nick Frost went off the cuff during filming.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And he just ad-libbed.
Yeah,
but
which
he ad-libbed so much that
it fundamentally changed the fucking script.
Exactly. Yeah. That's all that means. Because if you look at the Venom movies, Tom Hardy has a writing credit, but it's only, but I don't think he's there sitting writing. It's him ad-libbing, like kind of like Ryan Reynolds does.
Yeah, no, but to his point, it's weird when it says additional contributions.
Yeah, like it was such a weird tag. I was like, what? And like if you look on the credits, he's not credited as a writer. But so it was just like, that's fucking weird, but okay. Anyway,
I did notice that, and I was like, oh, okay,
that's strange.
Dick Frost going off the cuff.
But anyway, it's not good. It's there's a good movie in there somewhere. It just gets completely destroyed by this ghost story they're also trying to tell at the same time, and also the graphics not great.
No,
don't do ghost graphics if you can't afford ghost graphics.
Yeah.
So it's not a nocebo.
It's definitely not a nocebo. No. Those fucking ghost effects in the rearview mirror, garbage.
Yeah, real bad.
So there's another Nick Frost movie coming out on Shudder in December.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that's the banger.
We'll keep our fingers crossed. We'll be back to let you know.
Yeah, we're 0 for 1 for Nick Frost on Shudder.
Yeah. We got one more shot this year.
One more shot. But yeah, that is Black Cab, and it is now available on Shudder. Don't watch
it.
Next, well, we'll go back to TIFF again, TIFF well again, and we will speak about Sean Baker's Anora, which I saw before TIFF and fucking loved. And you two chuckleheads did not have the privilege of getting to see it at TIFF because they scheduled it at before TIFF. They scheduled it at the absolute worst times, and it was legitimately one of the hardest tickets to get.
Absolutely. No, like, the TIFF one was it was a no-go since Jump Street. Every single time they put out a show or like a new screening, it was sold out in 2.5 seconds. So
yes,
TIFF, do better. Figure something out there.
They just need to put it in bigger theaters. It's clearly going to be one that people want to see. Put it in a big theater.
Figure it out, or maybe don't schedule like was there P&I for Anora?
It was like first thing in the morning.
First thing in the morning, but it was also like next to a whole bunch of other hot things that everyone wanted to see. So again, TIFF, do better.
At least they put it in a bigger theater for the press and industry screen. It's not like Anatomy of a Fall that was in like 100-seat theater.
Yeah, great.
Great job. So at least they learned from that.
But anyway, yes, we got to watch it. Dave got to see it again.
I did get to see it again.
Dave, walk me through this one.
Sure, I will walk you through it. The titular Anora, or Annie as she prefers to be called, is a sex worker, an escort, a stripper. She's a jack of all trades, and she works at an upscale New York strip club, and she speaks a little Russian. So she gets asked to go to this high rollers table because he requests somebody who speaks Russian.
Correct.
And she meets Ivan or Vanya, and they hit it off really well. And he wants to see her outside of the strip club to pay for her services. And they strike up a pretty like a relationship.
Yeah.
It's a transactional relationship.
Oh, 100%.
But pretty quickly he asks her to marry him.
Yeah.
And she doesn't say no. And she's getting deeper and deeper in with this kid, and she likes him.
Yeah.
It's transactional, but there's some sort of attachment that she has to him. So they get married, and his parents find out, and they are not thrilled. So they send his godfather and the goons
hired goons
to go figure out what's going on.
Yeah.
And then from there, all hell breaks loose.
Yeah. I mean, not that leading up to that was any less chaotic, but that was extreme chaos.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of like this dreamy, hazy, like it's kind of romantic-ish. Yeah. Like, I know they said it makes Pretty Woman look like a Disney movie, but it's like Pretty Woman is a Disney movie. Yeah, exactly. So it's like, why would you even make this comparison? Yeah. But it's still like boy and girl, they like each other. Yeah. They're gonna figure things out. They're absolutely in love type thing, and then they need to be broken up, and it's goes in a completely new direction. It goes from like soft, quiet, soft and just exciting type thing, and like excitement and new, and then all of a sudden it becomes fucking a Safdie Brothers movie or fucking After Hours from Martin Scorsese. Like it just the tonal pivot.
Yeah, it's 181 degrees. It's not. Yeah,
turns into like a fucking crime thriller.
It's fucking wild. This movie nuts. Is fuck wild.
Yeah,
and it still hit me like a stack of bricks watching this movie and seeing it play out, and I still fucking love it. But I need to hear what you two think of Anora.
Tony, you want me to go first on this one?
Oh, well, technically you don't know what I think of it.
I don't. Fine. So you can be the surprise opinion on this. But I fell in love with Anora upon watching it. Not Annie, but the movie. The movie itself is. It shot to the top of my list. It is probably the best thing I've seen this year, bar none. It
moved up a spot on mine.
Yeah, it's fucking wild. Like, it's so well shot. It's so well paced. It's like, it's 2 and a bit hours, I think. 2 hours?
About 220.
220. Fucking didn't feel like it. I was just strapped into my seat the entire time, like, let's fucking go. And
it starts quick, like that whole like me saying like she's a stripper at and she meets Vanya, and that happens in the first 5 minutes of the movie.
That's 5 minutes in, and then the rest is just like a go-go pedal all the way to the middle, and then it just like cranks the NOS tank through the roof, and you're just off to the races for the rest of it at breakneck speed. And it's so like. The one comment I had when I got out and I said to Dave, I was like, there is nobody like Sean Baker in terms of like shooting chaos, because that entire scene that takes place in the house when the 2 hired goons and Godfather show up is the most chaotic fucking thing that is happening. And you could follow it all clearly. Like, it's so well designed, crafted, choreographed, and like,
and it's like a 30-minute scene.
Insane.
It doesn't feel like it, because it never stops. Like, he pumps the gas the whole time.
Yeah. Between the Godfather still being on the phone while he's driving over, and all the nonsense happening, and fucking everything about Igor, which I could dedicate an entire second paragraph to talking about Igor, because he is
Borisov.
Yeah. Igor, I would die for him. I would I would like to hug him. He feels like he needs a hug. But also after going through that, because that was a lot. But also I would die for that man. He is like the sweetest guy for being a hired goon. He's the sweetest hired goon you could ever have.
It's true. It's true.
Everything about him is encapsulated for me in one exact moment, and it is in the candy shop when he's like beating the shit out of all the glass that's in there, and there's one jar left, and he just kind of looks at it and goes boop with his bat and breaks it just because he needed it. He needed it to be broken. He was just so thrilled with himself that he got to do that at the end, and I was just like, I love this man. I love him so much.
You're just playing with it after. He's so good. Like I loved him the first time, but this time I was really noticing the nuances of Yura's performance and just like because he's mostly just like the audience surrogate watching what the fuck is happening. Yeah. And like
you don't really even know what to make of him at first.
Right? He's just a presence.
He's just there.
He's just there.
He's just there. Like initially you're like that the gang episode of The Simpsons where like this guy's gonna do something. Yeah. That he misses it, but like he does do something and you hang on when it happens. But yeah, he's just like, to your point, he's just a presence just there.
Yeah. But it's crazy. Like his character arc is because like you're on board with who Annie is. You get her right away. You get fucking shit weasel Vanya right away. Yeah. But he's like, he just comes in, he's a hired goon. You're like, I don't know what the fuck to make of this guy yet. He's got some of the funniest fucking deadpan line deliveries of the movie. He's fucking hilarious. But at the same time, like he's just slowly growing on you like a fungus through the entire movie, where you're just noticing these glances, these little gestures, these little things that he's doing because he cares about Annie and the situation that she's in. Because like he's objectively like, the situation's fucking insane. This girl needs help. She is like being ganged up upon. I don't know how to help her, but I'm gonna figure it out. And then you just like watch his growth through the whole thing. And
that's even after she says he has rape eyes.
Yes. Yes. After that. And then you get to the end and then you want to cry. And that's okay.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah. Without spoiling it, like the end does hit you like a stack of bricks. And it's, again, another tonal pivot. Yeah. This movie has so many tonal pivots, but they all work. Yeah. But there was a gentleman who was sitting in front of me and James.
I want to talk about this gentleman's arc through the movie.
He was just leaning back and just like, he was into it type thing. And then once it got really fun, he was so fucking into this movie.
Like Dave and I were sitting there and, you know, like we're not shy about being vocal about how we're feeling about a movie, not talking, but like laughing, like we'll laugh. And we were having like some, you know, nice polite chuckles to ourselves.
You remember that scene in Cape Fear? With De Niro laughing in the movie theater?
Yeah. I love that. But that was this guy. Like he was in front of us and like there was people around us. So like we were being respectful laughing. And this guy was just like killing him. He was keeled over during that 30-minute scene, laughing hysterically at everything. And I was like, I love this guy. He's so into it. And then he got to the end and he was just like, beside himself.
He was not okay.
Devastated. He couldn't leave the theater.
Yeah, everybody had left and he was still sitting like, there trying to compose himself. He was
like, oh my God.
So that should give you a taste of how this movie progresses without spoiling it. But yeah, this movie ruined this guy's Sunday.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. But Tony. So you loved it. I loved it. Mr. Tony.
So you guys are definitely chortling its balls.
Yes, absolutely.
Sean Baker deserves to have us chortle his balls.
But I'm also a Sean Baker head.
I can't believe I just said that out loud.
So I'm happy you did.
One thing that I admire about Sean Baker is his directing.
Yeah.
Because when I'm watching the movie, again, I know it's cheesy to say, but I don't feel like I'm watching actors act.
Yes.
I feel like I'm seeing characters. I feel like I'm in this life.
Yeah.
Right? Because if you look at Tangerine, basically relatively unknowns, right?
Yeah.
You have that. You got Florida Project. Yeah. Willem Dafoe's in it, but Willem Dafoe, he can absorb and he can.
Willem Dafoe is a chameleon.
He can chameleon.
He's great.
Right? Yeah. You got Red Rocket where Simon Rex can you can believe that he's a fucking aging porn star.
Yeah.
Right. And then you get here.
I'm pretty sure he did porn or something.
I wouldn't doubt it. But like it's believable, right?
It works.
And then you get to this, and Mikey Madison, like you hang on every word that she says.
Yeah.
Like she is that person.
She's
I'm
Annie.
not watching an actress. She is fucking Annie.
Yeah.
And you got Igor. You got Igor too. Even the fucking wild cast of all of Vanya's dad's goons, basically. Especially what's his Garnick Talos.
Toros,
right? He's actually buddies with Sean Baker. Like
he's in all of them.
Like you look up his
actually, you know what? I recognize him from fucking Tangerine.
So do I.
I fucking recognize him from Tangerine.
This guy.
Yeah, he's boys with Sean Baker.
Yeah.
He's great too.
The thing about Anora, it is, I will say it is my favorite Sean Baker out of all Sean Baker movie out of the 4 that he's done.
He's done more than that.
I know he's done more than that, but
he's
only
you have seen
the 4 that I've seen and the 4 that he's known for.
Yep.
But there were times during this movie where I was just like, okay, that's enough. Like this is getting out of hand. Like you've done it. It's like, okay, this is enough. This is enough. And towards the end, I just wanted to strangle Mikey Madison because I'm just like, man, if this girl keeps talking, like she's gonna. I personally thought it was gonna go another way.
Sure.
Because I'm just like, bro, like this is the Russian mob. Like this is Russian powerhouses. Like these guys are like, paid to make people disappear.
Sure.
You're gonna disappear, girl.
Sure.
But that's who she is.
I know that she's a batshit, bat crazy girl.
She's proud of who she is, and she won't have somebody put her down for what she does.
And totally understand.
She doesn't. She's very inner with her feelings. You only see them kind of pop out here and there, right?
Yeah.
Like she has this hardened, battle-worthy exterior.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And you just like, she keeps going with it. She doesn't give a shit.
She doesn't give a shit.
She doesn't give a shit. She's going to just talk the way she wants.
Exactly. And she's going to be heard, and she's not going to be silenced.
But I mean, like, that's been her whole life too. Like she's had to do that.
Exactly.
Right.
Totally get it.
And you get a sense of that, even though this whole movie takes place in 3 weeks?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
But with that being said, it's like, that's enough. I've had enough. Okay. Next. I liked it. I really, really enjoyed it. It's definitely one of my favorites of the year for sure. But I'm not chortling its balls. I'm not fucking bending over and pledging my allegiance to Anora.
Fair. That's fair. It is relentless.
It is relentless. It goes,
like, and I like to feel that it's like, all right, that's enough. Like it is relentless. It never stops.
It never stops, and you don't really have time to breathe. And I get that, and I like that, and I like that it does the tonal shift where it's like this happy-go-lucky, like I would say X-rated Pretty Woman, basically. Because when people ask me what it is and stuff, I'm like, it's basically Pretty Woman, but with a lot more sex.
Yeah.
And I like that. I like the start.
And
the first.
She isn't a stripper with a heart of gold.
Exactly. Exactly.
Like she's like
a stripper.
She's a stripper.
She's a stripper.
She knows what she wants.
Yeah. And she's got that fucking Brooklyn accent, and like she's like,
I love
like
that fucking accent. It's so
complete, like literal like poster child of a fucking New Yorker.
Yeah.
And I like how it starts, and then I like how it just like completely goes into like a fucking Uncut Gems like crime thriller.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Because like when shit hits the fan and like everything's going, like it doesn't stop. It's like full out, like fucking After Hours. It's Uncut Gem, and it's literally a race. And I like that. I just couldn't.
It was too much.
That's fair.
I get it.
It's a strong movie. Totally get it. It deserves all the accolades that it gets and everything. But it was a little much.
I get it. I don't disagree with that criticism. I can put myself in your shoes and feel it. Like it is. It's either, and it's I will say it's one of those movies where you either buy into it or you don't. Like you either buy into the relentless pace that you're about to be thrown into, or you are not going to have a great time.
Right.
Like it is going to get too much at points where you're just kind of like, all right, Like, all right, can we have a break? Can we have a breather? No, then you have to have the guy vomit all over himself in the car. And that scene is excellent in every way, shape, and form. Or you have to have them reverse his fucking Escalade off a tow truck. Also great. There's so much going on that, it can be a lot. I get it.
But I will say it is his best.
Oh yeah,
by far his best. Before that, I would say I think I put Tangerine ahead of the rest. But I think this one's definitely taking the cake.
I still haven't seen Tangerine.
It's a great Christmas
movie.
It's a good one.
That's what I hear.
Oh, fantastic. Going on the Christmas list.
Yep.
Filmed it on a fucking iPhone.
It's
right.
And again,
you cannot even tell.
Dude, it first of all, it looks great. And secondly, I think it opened a freedom to him to be able to, first of all, make that movie because he was able to make it for fucking peanuts. And second, I think it adds to it because the way that he's able to film it is so much different because you can. It's the size of a phone. You can get in the most insane angles you can possibly imagine.
Most of the movie takes place in a fucking taxi cab, so he's definitely going to need something to get in there, right?
Yeah.
Well, apparently they filmed the new 28 Days Later with iPhones too, but they were decked out iPhones.
Of course.
They're not just Tangerine.
It's not just Sean Baker holding a phone.
I'll show you guys offline. I have a picture of the camera rig, and it's fucking insane.
It's nuts.
But I really admire the craft in this.
Yeah.
Because he edits it too, right?
Yeah.
So just the way he's able to pace it, the writing, the act, the way he directs it and everything, it is a master class. And I think I admire it more than I actually like it.
Sure.
And I feel like with more watches, maybe I'll like it more and stuff. But for me right now, I think I like it technically a lot more
I get it.
than anything.
Yeah. That's totally fair. It's a huge, I don't think, even saying that though, I think from all three of us, it is a humongous recommend.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
if
for
you
sure.
haven't gone out to see it yet, do that because it is so fucking worth your time.
One of the best of the year for sure.
And then it also made me want to go watch Tangerine again. So
there is that. Before we continue on to our next things, I just wanted to point out two last things besides how amazing Mikey Madison is. It's nice that she doesn't get lit on fire in this film. Spoilers.
Yes,
she does not get lit on fire. Good. I know that's her thing, but it's nice not to see her lit on fire.
Yes.
And without getting too skeezy or sketchy, I feel like this is the first time I saw a strip club in a movie that looks like a strip club.
Yes. That's also a very good point.
Yeah, that is a very good point.
It feel like it's not.
That strip club was a strip club.
It's not dirty and it's not gross.
No,
it's an upscale strip club, but it looks
skeezy.
It looks like a strip club. It has the right lighting. It has the right care. Well, it also helps that they're actual sex workers.
Yes,
it's a Sean Baker movie. He got real people in it.
People in it, but it's not glammed up.
Yeah,
no,
and it's not bright.
Yeah.
And the guys aren't acting like fucking hooligans type thing. And it's not what you see. I'm thinking showgirls or striptease or hustlers.
Yeah.
Get in my coat.
Yeah.
It's not that. And it feels real. And the opening. It
feels like you can just go to that strip club and that's exactly the experience you're going to get.
And the opening scene where you're watching her work.
Yeah.
Basically work where she's just doing lap dances. She's just talking to guys type thing, trying to convince them to go in the back, sitting down in the back. That's what a strip club looks like. Yeah. Or at least it did in the before times. It's been a while. It's been quite some time since I've been, but in the before times, that's what it looked like.
Yeah.
And I love the realism and again, the naturalism of Sean Baker, how it's just matter of fact, but it doesn't feel Hollywood glammed up.
Right.
It just feels real and it feels tangible. And the whole movie, even though the movie gets fantastical, it still feels rooted in reality.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And just,
I agree.
I love it. I loved it even more the second time.
And even going on it looks like reality kind of thing, right? And I like how you get that in the beginning, and then when she meets Vanya and that whole relationship takes off, the glam starts, and then it starts to be young.
Yeah, because he's glam
and he's glam and all this stuff, right? And then the turn goes again, and then it's not so glam, and then it's dark and drab and the grays. It's just he is he's firing on all cylinders. Like, I admire the shit out of this guy for what he was able to accomplish in this movie, right? Yeah. Because like Sean Baker's not a big time like blockbuster director. He's just an indie guy, right? And this just looks absolutely beautiful. And it's, you lose that with the studio stuff. Because he's in the indie world, he has more control over it. And it's you can tell that it's his vision and what he wants to show. Yeah. And I admire the shit out of it.
Yeah. Agree. All around agree.
And fuck Diamond.
Yeah. She's got issues.
Yeah.
She'll be okay.
She got off easy.
She'll be okay.
Oof. Well, since we're talking about whirlwind romances, why don't we?
Oh, what a segue!
That's a good. I think that's a good segue to the new Netflix joint.
Oh yeah,
that comes out today.
Yeah,
and it's called Hot Frosty.
Can I tell you today? As in, we're recording it today.
Tomorrow. We're recording it on Tuesday. It's out on Wednesday, the 13th.
Yes. Can I tell you, I was chomping at the bit for this movie. The trailer had me hook, line, and sinker. I wanted this so badly. Hot Frosty looked like a cinematic masterpiece, and we needed to see it. So I pressured Dave into getting us Hot Frosty, and he fucking delivered.
You're welcome.
Big ups to Netflix as well.
And Touchwood.
Yeah, thank you
for providing us with this film to watch and review, and that's Hot Frosty.
Can I? Yeah. Let's go on to the next thing. So Hot Frosty. I'm sure it's a pretty good title for what the movie's about.
You don't need to describe it. Here it is. You want your pitch? Frosty the Snowman, except it's a himbo. That's it. Done. It's Frosty the Snowman.
That's it. He doesn't have a hat. He has a scarf.
He's got a red magical scarf.
The himbo is
Dustin Milligan.
Yeah. From Schitt's Creek.
From Schitt's Creek. Yeah. And Final Destination 3, which we just talked about.
Yeah. So. Lazy Sugar.
So it is your typical holiday Christmas romantic Christmas nonsense.
Yeah.
Like, if you've seen a Hallmark movie, you know exactly what kind of movie you're going into. It looks, or a Netflix Christmas movie.
Yeah. Hallmark, Netflix, Christmas movie, dribble.
Like, it has the look and feel like this is just a heartwarming movie that you just put on just because you want to get into the spirit. Like, we could get into semantics about how fucking ridiculous the plot is beyond the fact that Frosty, Himbo Frosty becomes a real boy. Like we could talk about that.
That's a good description.
Like,
Frosty becomes a real boy.
But I don't want to, like, we went into this knowing what we were like. You get what you paid for on this, but I do think that the issue I have with this is just like the B plot where the sheriff of the town,
Craig Robinson,
who's played by Craig Robinson inexplicably, the sheriff of the town, the small town that's actually just like a block in Ottawa.
I was going to say 3 streets of Ottawa. Yeah.
3 streets of Ottawa. Mostly because I smoked a joint outside of like where they film most of the movie.
Yeah, and all the signs look temporary. Like it's a bad set. It's a bad set. Anyway,
you say it's just they didn't put up much to change what it looks like.
A lot of styrofoam.
It's Ottawa in the summertime. Come on, guys. Yeah.
All of that to say, the sheriff is trying to figure out who this like new guy in town is, and he thinks
who committed some crimes,
some crimes, and he's sus and stuff, and he's trying to figure that out, and he just plays it up a little too much. Like, I love Craig Robinson, even though he fucking nailed me to the cross at one of his fucking comedy shows, and just you knew that, right?
No,
I sat in the front row at one of the Craig Robinson's comedy shows. Mistake. And I've heard this from a friend later. She had a friend in the audience, and she's like, who is this Dave guy that he keeps fucking making fun of and like fucking like chirping? Because this feels like it's just him talking to this Dave guy. And I was like, I'm Dave. He was not nice to me.
Oh,
I'm sorry,
nice Dave.
He definitely, he found the guy in the audience and it was me. And that's why I don't sit front row at any comedy show anymore.
Never.
I learned my lesson.
Yes.
I learned my lesson. All of that said, he's just so over the top and weird. And it's just, it doesn't fit the rest of the movie.
No,
it doesn't work.
He's in a different movie. I don't know
For
what
sure
he's
in a different
doing,
movie.
but none of it works.
The other guy too. What's his name?
Joe Lotroglio?
Yeah, that guy.
I love him though.
He's better.
He's fine. I think his over the top fits the movie. Because he's basically playing his character from Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Yeah, he's basically Boyle, but slightly toned down.
Yeah, like a toned down Boyle because he doesn't have a Jake Peralta to fucking hang on.
Yeah.
But I feel like his over the topness fits the movie. Yeah. And the silliness of the movie and
he's the one that's trying to be like the straight man to Craig Robinson's ridiculous's.
Yeah, which is weird because Joe Lotroglio is not the straight man.
Yeah. Like it's I don't know. That whole thing was just weird. And like it keeps coming up and you're just like, you just fuck off. Like I know you're trying to pad the runtime, but like
it's not even padding the runtime. They just need some sort of
takes away.
They just need some sort of conflict.
Yeah.
And it just, like you said, it just gets in the way. And you're like, I don't care.
Yeah.
Like, will they, won't they? That's enough of a conflict for me. And he's fucking, and he melts anytime it gets too hot. Like, I get it. Or he's sweating and nobody's questioning the fact that it's supposed to be like minus whatever. And he's just outside shirtless.
Yeah.
And he doesn't look cold.
Yeah.
Like, I run hot and I shovel the snow in fucking a sweater and shorts. But this guy, like, we should be checking on this guy.
Yeah. Well, they did. Then they had the C plot with everybody's thirsty for this man.
Yeah, that too.
Including like the doctor.
So and Lauren Holly, who's just there.
Yeah.
Hey guys, I'm Lauren Holly.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. There's a lot. Looking back on it now, I kind of wish it wasn't a stupid magic scarf that he gets to move around his body. And I wish it was something as ridiculous as like a top hat that he could never take off. And it would have been the funniest fucking shit to just see him having to like wander into like, he's setting up for the school dance and he's got to keep this like top hat balanced on his head while he's like making decorations.
As opposed to wearing the scarf like a belt.
Yeah, exactly. He's like trying to fix a roof and like the hat keeps slipping. So he's got to keep like, putting it back and
he's sweating and it keeps slipping off.
Exactly.
Yeah, that could have been fun. So Katie Mixon is the doctor and she's
thirsty
and it's weird and she's weird.
They did make a rectal thermometer joke, which it was right there. They could have done it. At least a little innuendo to it.
But they do make kind of an Inception-y joke where he's watching TV and he's watching a Christmas movie with Lindsay Lohan in it.
Oh, yes.
And Lacey Chabert says something along the lines of, oh, that looks like a girl I went to high school with.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Lindsay Lohan Christmas movie, Hot Frosty, and Mean Girls occupy the same universe. We now have a Mean Girls cinematic universe, and it contains 2 Christmas movies.
Right, so it's like layers of fucking Inception, like that Netflix exists in this universe.
Oh yeah, that too.
And they're watching a Netflix movie, but also that she went to school with Lindsay Lohan.
Yeah.
So it's kind of Inception.
Yeah. So Mean Girls as a movie doesn't exist because it's real life.
This one is just like, it's like a 2-minute throwaway scene, but the levels of meta are just, it breaks.
She doesn't even have the same character name. All of it falls apart.
That's the best part of the movie, that joke.
It is a good joke.
Yeah, it's the only good joke in the movie.
I'm fairly certain that's one of the only scenes that the rest of us all like.
Yeah, the rest of it was, we also had to pause it at that moment because it just broke us for a second.
Yeah, it broke us. Like it's a good moment.
I think Dustin Milligan is great.
Yep. He knew what movie he's in and he delivered.
Yeah, he definitely understands the assignment for sure.
Yeah, like he is the
no one else does.
He's the himbo and he understands it.
Yeah.
And he plays up to it and he's having a blast.
Yeah.
But he's not, and he's over the top, but he's like the right amount of over the top. Although they don't really explain, like in Frosty, in my mind, he wears the hat and then he can do whatever. But if you take the hat off, he's not.
Correct.
There's all sorts of new rules that this movie just kind of throws at you on the fly. And you just got to buy it.
Yeah.
You just got to buy it. And for the kind of movie it is, okay, you just buy it.
Sure.
But Lacey Chabert, I know she does other Christmas movies, but she didn't really do much for me.
No, she was just there.
Like she looks great. They make a hot couple, but she didn't really do much for me as much as Dustin Milligan did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Did you appreciate the craft of Hot Frosty?
Oh,
Tom?
yeah, definitely the craft.
The direction.
It's very
Jerry Reedy's direction. How did you feel about the direction?
You know what?
How'd you feel about the mise en scène?
I was about to say the mise en scène is just absolutely insane in this movie. If you're watching movies for mise en scène, this is the one to watch.
Excellent.
The cinematography top notch. I really love the bright colors.
So he's firing on all cylinders.
I wouldn't necessarily say he's firing on all cylinders. He's firing something.
So much as it's a diesel engine trying to cold start in the winter. Just gonna
yeah. It's if he was trying to shoot summer for winter, like you ain't fooling anyone.
Do better. The bricks of styrofoam that you're showing me are not snow.
The amount of styrofoam and the way the snow, like, buddy, that's Ottawa in the summer, man. I'm in the industry. I fucking know what you did.
This movie made me have to think about Frosty the Snowman's genitals.
That too.
For too long. In not a fun way. In a, how does this work? And then they had to make him a real boy. And I went, so that's how it works? Does he gain genitals when he became a real boy? Because he is like a Ken doll in the snow sculpture.
There's a bulge,
but it's not an anatomically correct penis. Like,
well, they keep saying that the one old lady described it, so obviously it showed up.
Listen, the amount of detail on that sculpture, like that guy must have got like a fucking
chisel,
either a chisel or like a goddamn scalpel, and just carved into the styrofoam and edged it and sandpaper.
I really feel like they missed an opportunity by not talking to not having the person who made the snowman be a character.
Yeah,
be like, I
yeah.
want a pretty
Then like seeing the guy come to life, like the fuck?
That's a B story. I want to know.
That would have been
or just that guy going to Craig Robinson being like, I think my snowman came to life. Like, I'd like to file a missing persons. I'm not even sure what I need to file here. Missing artwork. And also every single outdoor scene, it was snowing. Every single scene. That town never saw sun. It was just constantly in a blizzard.
Yeah.
That's how you know it's a Canadian winter.
Yeah, blizzards every day.
All of this to say, it's really silly.
Yeah,
but it has.
They let him work with young children without a police check. And
that was another thing. That was another thing. Like, I have to go get a police check. Hot Frosty needs a fucking police check. Yeah. You don't know who this guy is at all, and you're letting him hang out with kids. Yeah.
Also, there's a lot of B story. Hot Frosty's got to go to the police station to get a fucking police check. And while he's waiting, he gets to work with the kids. And then there is no police, there's no ID for him. So then they take him to jail. See, there's your B story. That's better than
makes
this.
More sense. That would make a lot more sense than whatever the fuck.
Yeah,
the B story.
Craig Robinson busting out of a bathroom in the restaurant to arrest Hot Frosty.
All of this to say,
anyway,
you get what you pay for. There's just certain things that I think they could have fine-tuned a bit to make it a more enjoyable film. Yeah. Because, it's that whole B thing. It's bad. It's junk.
It's bad.
Like, I know it's not we're not watching fucking Christopher Nolan masterpiece here, but like, I know what I paid for, and this wasn't it.
I'd watch Christopher Nolan's Hot Frosty.
Yeah.
I don't know what it would be, but something to do with time. Oh, it would have to do with time.
There'd be a lot
he's going to be into this.
There's going to be a lot of time shifting.
65-year-old Christopher Nolan's going to deliver these. 75-year-old, he's just going to be cranking out Christmas movies that are all time-based.
I'm excited to show this to Melissa. Melissa was a little upset because I told her that I was like, oh, we got a screener for this Christmas movie, and I didn't tell her what Christmas movie. So she was a little PO'd that it was Hot Frosty, but I'm excited to watch it with her because she's gonna have a blast.
I just imagine there's gonna be a lot of what?
Yeah. What the fuck?
I kept telling Alyssa, I was like, yeah, we're watching Hot Frosty. What the fuck? And then, hey, do you want to watch this? It's Hot Frosty. What? Why do you keep talking about this? What the hell is it?
Yeah.
But she'll find out tomorrow. Or today. As it were.
Yeah.
So it's fun enough for a throwaway watch.
Yeah.
It's fun enough.
Zero, absolutely like zero or like negative expectations.
Yes. Set those, put those expectations on ice like Hot Frosty is.
Yeah,
and,
definitely.
You'll be fine.
I see what you did there. Yeah, I had fun. I had fun watching it with you two assholes.
Yes, that was
the three of
enjoyable.
us watching it together like that. I'm glad we had that moment.
Yeah.
A little bit of the green helped as well, I will say. Like,
little bit.
That definitely like coasted me through that movie a little bit easier. I think I would have left if I was just stone cold sober.
It's fun enough, and people who like Christmas movies,
Yeah,
if
they
you
like
like
it.
the cheesy Christmas movies, you'll enjoy it.
Like
Yeah, if you guys are freaking watching everything that comes out on Hallmark, like this is
this is fine. Just throw this on while you're baking fucking gingerbread men or something.
Exactly.
Yeah, this is exactly that movie.
Yeah,
Exactly that movie. Yeah. And now we have to watch the new Lindsay Lohan Christmas movie
because it's in universe.
Anyways. The last one we want to talk about, I think it's a really special one. It's called Memoir of a Snail, and it comes out this Friday in limited release. And spoiler alert, Tony and I got to speak to the director, Adam Elliot. So stay tuned for that conversation, which will be uploading very soon. But Memoir of a Snail, I fucking loved this movie.
Yeah.
It destroyed me.
Yeah.
I was weeping like tears. I don't know if they were joy or sadness. There was just tears coming out of me. And I loved this movie. It's animated. It's stop motion, clay, puppets, all that jazz. And it's a generational tale about two orphans who get split up and have to live on opposite ends of Australia. And they kind of want to come back together and just kind of like what keeps them apart.
Yeah.
And it's really funny and really heartfelt. And I've been talking about it too much. So I want you guys to tell me more about Memoir of a Snail or talk more about it.
Yeah. I mean, I think you nailed the premise. I don't need to go any further than that, other than both of their lives are just horribly bleak, and there's a charm to the way that it's told in story. It's told almost like a fable. Yeah. And it's
like a storybook.
Yeah. And there's like
he has this tone because he directed the short Harvey Crumpet that won the Oscar, and then he directed another film 15 years ago called Max and Mary that is very much this charming, fucking super depressing, super bleak fucking friendship movie about a girl in Australia and her obese pen pal in the States.
Yeah. So there's still that that bleakness here. But there's almost like it had almost like this almost Roald Dahl element to it. If I can talk about sort of like there's a bit of whimsy to the way that the story is being told, even though the subject matter is fucking bleak as shit. It has a whimsical element to it.
It's an adult film.
Yes, absolutely.
I didn't preface this. It's not a kid's movie.
Yeah.
I said animated and you immediately think kids, but this is most certainly an adult film.
Just fucking nudity.
Not even that, but just like it's dealing with adult themes.
Of course. It's tough. It's a tough bleak watch with like moments of whimsy and fun, and the animation style is incredible. His work is incredible.
It's so fucking detailed.
Yeah.
It's insane how much detail there is on all of these characters.
Yeah. And they're
made of fucking clay.
Yeah. And you're just kind of hooked right from the beginning. Like it has a charm to it that just kind of draws you in, probably in its art style and the way that, the story is being told. And I will say I was not as emotionally wrecked as you were by it. I certainly wasn't weeping at all.
Fuck you.
It's fine. I'm just saying I enjoyed it, but I wasn't emotionally destroyed by it. Okay. I thought it was a very good, solid movie, and I really enjoyed my entire time watching it. It, made me feel things. By the end of it, because I think I watched Memoir of a Snail and Bird back to back.
Oh yeah, that would have been a day.
By the end of Bird, I was emotionally spent. I had nothing left to give. I literally texted my girlfriend and I was like, I don't know what's wrong with me, but I think it might have been the 2 movies that I just watched, but I feel kind of shitty. And she's like,
I could use a hug.
Yeah. She's like, yeah, what the fuck are you watching? I'm like, yeah, it was a day. But no, I loved it though. It's very, very good.
Mr. Tony.
Watching it, like I think I got like 5 minutes into the movie and I was like, I'm gonna absolutely fucking love this movie. And I did.
Yeah.
It looks absolutely incredible. Definitely one of the best animated movies of the year for me, hands down.
Yeah.
Just the amount of detail on every character, the coloring, how everything plays out. It's basically like they're basically reading you like a bedtime story almost.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I really love that the way they did that. And I can't really add anything else that you guys haven't already said.
I don't want that bedtime story told to me. I'd probably be up late in the fucking fetal position.
Again, but it's more of the pacing of it, the tone
of it and everything. It felt like a bedtime story.
It's an inviting, bleak story, as weird as that is to kind of say.
Exactly. And you're hanging on to everything. Like the character of Grace goes through hell.
Fuck.
And you're hanging on. You're hoping that there's a happy ending. That you're hoping that there's a light at the end of the tunnel.
Absolutely. Also, Pinky's great.
Pinky's
great.
God.
Like I love Pinky. Pinky's the best thing in the world.
She fucked John Denver in his helicopter. Yeah. And then she played ping pong with Fidel Castro.
Yeah, she's great. She's
she
everything.
Just smokes Cubans for the rest of her life.
And I like you guys are gonna hear this in the interview, but just listening to how the story came to be, his influences and like what inspired him to write this. It just makes the movie feel so much more. And it adds layers to the movie. And it was amazing talking to him, and it was so inspiring talking to him, and like his just his love for animation and his love for his storytelling. This is definitely not one you want to miss.
It's certainly one of the most unique movies I've seen all year,
for sure.
And
I think we've talked about a number of unique movies tonight, but this is certainly one of the top unique movies.
This will definitely leave an impression on
Absolutely.
you.
And to your point about Pinky, it's Jackie Weaver's the voice.
Correct.
So she just fucking knocks it out of the park.
Yeah,
and Sarah Snook is Grace, and Cody Smith McPhee is Gilbert.
Eric Bana's in there.
Eric Bana is James the Magistrate.
Yeah.
So he has a small role, but he was also in Max and Mary and Max too.
Yeah. But Sarah Snook, like she's so
good. She has to carry this movie on her shoulders.
Exactly. And she does such a phenomenal job.
Yeah.
She was great.
Right. And she has like the same inflection for most of the movie too. And you're still hanging on everything she's saying.
Yeah.
And just, I think she's great, but I love Pinky. When you mentioned Pinky, I love Pinky.
Pinky's the best.
Pinky's great. She's just an older woman. She's Grace's friend, and she's older and more wise.
So good.
But like it's like, but like
she's
I said, like within
bugger. When her husbands keep dying.
Yeah.
Oh, bugger.
Bugger.
But it hooks you. 5 minutes in, it hooks you, and it does not let you go. You're in it for the long haul. You're following these characters to the end, and you want to see what happens.
Yeah.
Right. And
it doesn't disappoint.
It doesn't disappoint. Not at all.
It's so beautifully done. It's so unique. And I'm thinking about other details, like at Pinky's house, she has Post-it notes, and one of them says "Call Fidel."
Yeah. There's so many small fucking details in this movie, and they're all so like it's so funny and charming and sad and happy and bleak, and like there's so many. You go through all
a roller
the
coaster
gamut
of emotions.
Yeah.
It's just a really wonderful movie. Even though it's sad as shit.
Yeah.
But it's just a really wonderful movie, and it's definitely another must see.
Yeah.
And I think it's definitely one of my favorites of the year as well.
For sure.
But I loved it, and I can't wait to watch it. I watched it twice, and I can't wait to watch it again.
Yeah.
I wanted to show it to the kids. Maybe I'll wait a little longer.
No, you get that subject matter.
Longer.
Not there yet.
Not there yet. But to that, I know you guys didn't watch it yet, but Mary and Max is also a must see.
Oh yeah,
it's really beautifully done. I like Memoir of a Snail better, but Mary and Max is also pretty great.
All right, I will watch.
And
that.
Harvey Crumpet is a blast.
Sure,
he actually shows up in Memoir of a Snail.
Oh, cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
that's cool.
He's where is he? He's in the hot tub with the nudists. He's there.
Yes.
He's there. He has like a little funny hat. Like he doesn't look like everyone else has a look, but he doesn't look like anybody else.
Got it.
That's
Harvey Crumpet. It's a throwaway. It's just throwaway.
He's just there.
He's just there. He doesn't say anything.
He doesn't say anything.
No,
he's just
like
sitting in
the
the
scene
tub
in the hot tub is a throwaway.
Yeah, but he's just like, he doesn't interact. He's just sitting there. But if you know that's Harvey Crumpet, you're like, okay, that's Harvey.
That's awesome.
That's him.
I like that.
Neat.
But yeah,
neat. I love that.
Yeah. So lovely film. And so that one's in limited release this week. And watch out for our interview with Adam. And I think that about wraps up this wild
little
bonus episode.
Little bonus episode that we had for you.
Yeah.
So you don't forget what we sound like.
Our basically our screener time bonus episode.
Screener time bonus episode is in the bag, and we had a bunch of movies, and I think we recommended quite a few of them on this episode. So it was
we sure did.
We gave you some things to watch, especially some stuff that's coming up very, very soon, or is out now in the case of Anora and Black Cab, but more so Anora. Go check these movies out when you can, and
or keep them on your radar.
Yeah,
for sure.
At least keep an eye on them, a weather eye on the horizon.
Yes.
But we'll be back a couple weeks.
No, I think next week.
Next week.
Well, you'll hear from me and Tony much sooner than that, but you'll hear from the rest from James next week.
Yes, yeah. Through the magic of editing. Thanks. But until then, I'm still Jimmy, and I'm here with
Big T Tony B.
Yeah, and
Dazzling Dave.
And we'll catch you shortly.